So Sunday, May 12th, haven't really done much of a video in the last week here, and Dad has been waiting on a few things here, but he got his Texas Twister fan. I think we showed that on a previous video, and he needs to get some new exhaust pipe because the one he's got right here is in pieces.
I can't go any further here until I get that exhaust pipe.
Okay, so
And I can't go any further on the differential until the axles come back.
So one of the things we did here on the last video is we pointed out the problems with the axles, and I guess I misheard from the customer about when we were rebuilding axles. He wanted them both rebuilt, so Dad had to pull everything apart, and we took them both back in. One was already rebuilt to begin with, but luckily our machinist here in town could tackle the project without us having to send it down south to be rebuilt. And that would have been an undetermined amount of time. So Dad can't really go any further without both of those axles. And he's also talking about putting brand new bearings in because they've been in and out a few times. But what about the drive shaft? Can we do anything on the drive shaft?
The drive shaft can go in.
Okay.
But I got, that only takes me half an hour and then I'm stumped again. So
Okay.
I'd rather, I want to get this alternator setup done right.
Okay.
And then when I get parts, once I get the exhaust, then I can finish all this.
Okay. So Sunday here, Dad's gonna try and get this new alternator installed. He had to make a new bracket here. He's constantly making stuff to make it fit.
Well, on account of this big intake manifold,
Yeah.
these Ford engines, the alternators were never mounted here to start off with. They were mounted underneath.
Yeah.
And it's impossible to adjust after. So I had to make this bracket.
Yeah.
And if you could reach through there.
Okay, just hold on.
What's going on here?
You're through. I think it's just catching on something.
Yeah. I'll probably do to start.
Okay, hold on.
This shrunk when I weld it.
Yep.
So I got to run a drill bit through. So, still a little tight for some reason.
Much better. Okay, she's all the way through.
I'm going to see if I got enough thread. Let me put that belt over top.
So Dad was just mentioning here, a hose has got to go in here for clearance.
Yeah.
So there's very, 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 very little playroom here for Dad to work with. And he might end up having to make a bracket just so that that alternator can sit at the right spot. But again, very tight conditions. And he's got the belt on. It feels snug. It's supposed to be in the right spot. But what I've been doing here is trying to make it work in the best spot area that he can.
Okay, I can make this work. What I'll do is I'll put a bolt in here with a plate and then a slide here.
Okay.
So you pull this like this.
Yeah.
And then lock it here.
Okay.
And then the alternator's all lined up.
Okay, so is there any risk here of that having any slippage, or you gotta bolt everything to
just
place?
a minute. What I'm going to explain. I got to change this bolt here because it's not the right size. I got to put the 7/16 in, and then once that's locked up here, then you put a bar in here, and you turn the alternator on this shaft,
Okay.
and then you lock it from here to here.
Okay.
But it all takes some planning. It doesn't just fit into place.
Task like this can drive Dad mad for 3-4 days sometimes. And then if he's missing a part or...
Well, the alternator has to be running straight, and if you look down here, I'll put the light different position. See, the adjusting bolt will go here. And then I'm going to weld a plate from there to here. So this is going to be your adjusting. So you put a bar behind this, pull it down tight. You got clearance on the belt, and you lock it. And you but I still got some bushings to make because this can't be moving back and forth. Come in, look from the top down here. You see that space in between the bolt and the housing? Well, if I put 2 or 3 washers in there, that'll take that slack up. So it's got to stay straight. The whole thing has to run straight. And then once this is locked up tight, then the alternator will sit right there, and it can be shimmed from. What I'll probably do is I'll put a welder bracket from here to here and put a rubber bumper underneath it. So that's where it'll sit, and then it can be adjusted here.
Okay.
It's got to go this way. So that means I got to grind this weld off and move this chunk back here a bit so the alternator can come out about this far. So that's it for today on that one.
Okay guys, there's your update on the blue narrow gauge.
When you make this ship, it all takes time to make it work.
Yeah. So it's not a matter of just assembling here. That's Dad's actually spent quite a bit of time making sure everything fit into the right place with this motor. And so yeah, and then Dad still has the drive shaft here, which he now has. He's going to finish off the wiring in the front. Gauges are all in. You still got a gear shifter, dash mounted gear shifter.
Yeah,
This will keep Dad busy right to the bitter end. But he's sometimes just got to think how it's all going to go and then and get it done. We got old Charles, our old King Charles, and he's gardening. You remember what happened years ago? You got caught in the trap here because you were digging up the garden, and then you came to live with us? Yeah, I know. We don't talk about that ever.
Get up here and lay down. You're played out after all that gardening. Get up there. Get up there. You must be played out after gardening. Can you make it? That's it. Get the head on the pillow and relax. Yeah.